Hello, everyone. This is Valerie Ann with the Truth Exposition Show at freedomizerradio.com. I have a special guest tomorrow. His name is Joel Skousen, and my show runs from 10:30 p.m. until 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at freedomizerradio.com. I will list the link at the bottom of this video. Now, this is what we'll be discussing tomorrow with Mr. Skousen. His current book, called Strategic Relocation, I think is very, very important for people to have today. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's so many threats facing North America and our world today. I mean, political threats, biological threats, natural disasters. And his work is a compilation of so many different things, but it also includes the best places to live prior and during such crises. And I'll mention a little bit what he states here. What happens during a major crisis? It could be any major crisis. It could be a labor crisis, which halts the inflow of food and business goods. As you know, I'm here in Brooklyn, New York, and Hurricane Sandy really hit the East Coast really bad, especially here in New Jersey, in New York, different parts of New York, including Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and especially New York City, and among other areas in New Jersey. Now, what's happening here would fall under what we're experiencing now on the East Coast. A labor crisis halts the inflow of food and business goods. Now, a labor crisis, obviously, that's if people are out of work and we're going through some sort of labor crisis now, of course. But what's happening here is the halt of inflow of food and business goods. We're having that issue right now here in New York and on the East Coast where we can't get gas, and there are areas that are running out of food. So that is a major problem. And this book, I wish I had the book before this was happening, and I believe that this would help people in dealing with such crises and how to psychologically and physically survive through it. Mr. Skousen also discusses economic crisis that threatens our pensions, investments, and other so-called guaranteed income. He also discusses when there is a major natural disaster or any earthquakes that suddenly upsets the natural social order for months at a time. He also discusses emergency clogs that are in areas of freeways, having a contingency plan, and when the unthinkable happens, nuclear war. So he discusses all this information. His background, let me find it here. Sorry. His background is he's a political scientist by training, specializing in the philosophy of law and constitutional theory, and is also a designer of high security residences and retreats. He has designed self sufficient and high security homes throughout North America and has consulted in Central America as well. His latest book in this field is again Strategic Relocation, North American Guide to Safe Places. And he is active in consulting with persons who need to relocate for security and increase self sufficiency. So I do believe that this interview will help many of you out there. We're living in unprecedented times right now. We're being threatened by natural disasters, possible World War III, biological weapons, terrorism, economic collapse, food shortages. So we are living in unprecedented times. So I do believe that you, as listeners, will benefit from this interview. Other speaking topics that Mr. Skousen does engage in is world affairs, briefings on both foreign and domestic affairs, strategic relocation, like I mentioned, high security design for residences and retreats, as I just mentioned to you, crisis preparedness and strategies for civil defense and self sufficiency planning, military affairs and readiness, free enterprise solutions to economic and social problems, and philosophy of law and government. So I do believe that a lot of people will benefit from this. And Mr. Skousen does have some other work called the Secure Home. You can check out his website, and I will put his website at the bottom of this video. It's joelskousen.com. So this is some more of his works here. And this is pretty interesting. How to implement a high security shelter at home. So anybody who does have a home where you can kind of use it as some security shelter if you have the room and the property. I think this would be helpful for everybody. And what else do we have here? He also has a DVD, Why the Constitution is Essentially Dead and How to Fix It. So I do believe that a lot of information that Mr. Skosin and a lot of his works are very helpful to people, especially during these times, especially what's going on today with Hurricane Sandy. A lot of people were not prepared, and these people are their homes are completely destroyed. They have no food, they have no clean water, and the thing is, if these people were prepared to some extent, maybe they wouldn't be having these problems. But a lot of people don't really see that they have to be prepared for everything, especially here in New York. We never had a hurricane of this magnitude before. It's very rare we have hurricanes here. So a lot of people didn't believe this was going to happen. But again, we're facing unprecedented times with natural disasters and global warming and what is going on naturally, and not only naturally, but we're going through a crisis, a social crisis, a political crisis, and an economic crisis. And I do believe that people need to be prepared. And I do believe that his work, Mrs. Coulson's work, would be very beneficial. So if everybody is interested, just come and listen to what he has to say tomorrow. It's going to be a great interview. Again, I will put the link for Freedomizer Radio at the bottom of my video, and the time slots in which my show runs. I don't expect everybody to remember what I'm telling you, but it's from 10:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow evening. And I hope everybody can make it, and I hope to see you there.